Greetings from Jerusalem. This is Mahaleyah, and I have a very special guest today. Her name is YaheEna, and not only is she one of the direct descendants of the house of Dawid, but she is also one of the founders and leaders of the Nation of Yehudah. Sister YaheEna, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Shalom to everyone in Israel. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
I hope that everyone can hear us. This is Sister YaheEna, and she is based out of Cincinnati. Is that correct?
Yes, that's Cincinnati, Ohio, absolutely.
Okay. Now, I came into contact with Sister YaheEna. We got in contact as a result of one of the videos that I did, and subsequently I was invited to be a participant on her radio show, which is called the Yehuda Project. And I believe that's on every, is it Sunday?
Yes, ma'am. It's every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes.
Okay. So that is every Sunday. And I was a participant on that show. And we talked about so much. But what I would like to do is I just want to introduce all of you out there that are interested in the Hebrew Israelite movement. I would like to introduce you to her, those of you who don't already know her. Because as I said, this is one of the largest organizations of Hebrew Israelites in the world. Am I correct, YaheEna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maybe you could just tell us a little bit about your organization and how it all started and your lineage.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I'd like to say shalom to everyone that's in Israel. It is truly a pleasure. I take it an honor to have gotten to know Sister Mahaleyah. I first saw her on a YouTube clip where she was doing, giving some information about Dimona and some of the things that were going on in Dimona, and it sparked my interest. So I gave her a call, and I emailed her, and then from there we got together and we decided to do the radio show program together. I'd like to let everyone know that we're really excited to be a part of the movement of nation building. The Nation of Yehudah was formed, I guess, back in 2000 and I'd say about 2003 initially.
Mm-hmm.
I am from the royal house of King Dawid. If I take it back, I used to count back how far back he is in terms of my grandfather, but I am one of his descendants in this captivity with our people, and was given the mandate to organize the Nation of Yehudah. And from there, I've been putting together a structure and an organization that would provide assistance to our people in the form of nation building so that we can come together and to show a sign of solidarity, to also bridge the gap between the differences that we have, and to be there to manage information as our brothers and sisters come out of the unconscious situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm in very close contact with a lot of people that are Christians, some Muslims, and, we're putting together this organization, and it's constantly growing because people are wanting to be a part of the movement. So we do have Christian people that are a part of the organization that have just come into the knowledge of who they are in terms of ethnicity, and we're slowly feeding them and protecting them as they grow in the knowledge of who they are. So my whole purpose for the Nation of Yehudah is to provide an organization where our Hebrew brothers and sisters can come to find love, they can come and find hope, they can come and find assistance, and we're trying to build it up from that standpoint.
That is so beautiful. I have to tell you, YaheEna, me as an individual, for over a year, I have been making various reports on the community here in Israel. And at times I felt very much alone in that most of the people here in Israel that are a part or are ex-members of the community are not very vocal about what's happening here. So as a result, like I said, I did feel pretty much a loner. But when she did extend her hand, and you know, I appreciated it and meant a lot to me. And you have thousands of members, and I can remember being very hesitant and not reluctant, but just I was a little nervous about going on the program because she has a worldwide organization. And I have to say that they made me feel so warm and so welcome. And not only did they receive me very respectfully, but they came up with, and this is YaheEna's brainchild, or if I could call it that. They came up with some ideas for a think tank. Now, I have, as I said, over the past year, dealt with a lot of different issues. But I have to say, at the end of the year, my spirit caused me to feel like now is the time to, now that the issues have been brought to light, we need to start to focus more on solutions. And she agrees with me on that. And so this think tank that she talked about, I would like her to just expound a little bit on that think tank, which I feel is a brilliant idea.
Well,
YaheEna?
thank you so much. I'm glad you have so much confidence in me. It means a lot. What we're trying to do in terms of the think tank is to basically bring our groups together, our leaders together from all over the world, and through the Yehuda Project, which is our blog talk radio show. You know, we have connected with thousands and thousands of people that are our constant listeners on our show, and we've reached as far as Japan. I think it was a couple of Sundays ago, we had a Hebrew Israelite on the show from Japan. We had them from Cuba. We've had them on from Brazil. We have a brother that is in Sweden. So, you know, we're constantly reaching out to all of our brothers and sisters all over the world to connect with us and to be able to, you know, come together. So the think tank is basically being designed to bring together all of the leaders of the particular groups to come together at the round table and sit down and come up with viable solutions that will help everyone. Because, you know, in terms of beliefs, we vary and we different with different beliefs. But when it comes to our condition is worldwide.
Yes.
And we all suffer from the same situations worldwide. So as a collective group, we have to come together and figure out, you know, how we're going to feed each other and how we're going to support each other. I mean, because we have unlimited amount of resources. We have disposable dollars. We just have to channel those funding to something more positive that will help to sustain us. We have to deal with a lot of things in terms of education for our children. We have to deal with how we're going to sustain ourselves when it comes to food, shelter, and clothing. And then we have to start healing each other. Because, it saddens me, you know, when I look at the Nation of Yehudah, and from a royal standpoint, from being in the captivity and being from the royal house of King Dawid, I see all of this hatred. And I see the men hating the women, and the women are hurting because our men are leaving us, and they're going to women in the other nations. And we have to address all of these issues, because these are the issues that are going to either define us or they're going to destroy us. And everybody's grabbing for power when we don't need to grab for power. We need to grab hope, and we have to give our people the hope that they need. So that's the purpose for the think tank. I'm sorry, it's to provide hope for everyone. I'm sorry, hold on one moment, Mahaleyah. Hold on.
Okay, this is something that I am in perfect agreement with Sister YaheEna. We, as a people, have to learn to put all of the more smaller issues aside and come together for the whole. Because we all have our own ideas of how to worship. We all have our own ideas of what the real issues are. But when we look outside of our communities, when we look outside of our countries, when we look outside to other ethnic groups or other other race groups, we see that basically we are the ones that don't know how to be cohesive. You know, when we see other people come to Israel or come to America or wherever they're coming, you know, we see those communities coalesce. We see them come together, and we see them begin to form strong unions and to make gains in the community and in politics and in other areas. But it is our people that seem to have a problem with that. So I'm 100% in agreement with what Sister YaheEna is saying, and I think the think tank will be a very good thing, and it will be a catalyst that will help bring all of these organizations together. Are you with us, YaheEna?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I had some technical difficulties here with my system here in my office, but I am definitely here with you, and I think that it's going to be a beautiful thing. You know, once we can get the appropriate leaders to actually come together, you know, because when you step up and you say, you know, hey, you know, I'm from the royal house of King David, they look at you and it's like you don't realize, you know, that in this captivity, the king and the kingdom went into captivity, and they don't realize that we have a bloodline that is actually in this captivity, going through the same situations that everyone else is going through, and we have to come together. I mean, it's just no other way to do that other than to come together, because I believe personally that there's going to be a period where he's going to extend this knowledge and begin to wake up those that are unconscious. And when you have the flood of people that are going to start coming in, you know, not only do you have to manage those people, but you have to manage the information so that people don't get bruised that are already hurt. So the whole purpose of it is to come together to develop a group, a think tank, I won't say a tribunal, but an advisory committee that would be able to deal with the issues, to be able to channel some real finances and funding into the situation so that we can begin to help our people, you know, and to teach them certain, you know, how to get out of debt and the things that we need to do in order to survive what's coming, because it's getting ready to get pretty bad for us, and we got to do something. We have to do something.
This is true. And as you know, we've had very many conversations, and one thing that we have said and we both agree upon is this is worldwide. This is not something that's just local here in Israel. The situation here, you know, we have the same issues, you know, with pedophilia and crime and certain deviant behaviors in the communities. We have the economic issues. We have the social issues. We have the male versus the female issues even here in Israel. We have issues with the youth and the adults, the generation gap. So all of these things are worldwide. There's no question about that. However, we have to learn that we cannot be spiritually arrogant. You know, those people that are here, that are in need of help, that are in economic situations right now, that do need a helping hand. You know, we can't look at the other organizations outside of Israel and say, well, you know, we've got the t-shirt, we've been there and we've done that, and there's nothing that you can tell us. No, we have a lot to share, and every organization has something that they can share. You know, it is unity, it is solidarity that even here in Israel, we have the Ethiopians, we have the Sudanese, we have the ones from Eritrea. So all of these people are getting together and protesting. They have solidarity, but where were we? Why weren't we not there at the rally? Why aren't we protesting? Because what affects them, don't we think is going to affect us? The thing that, you know, my personal belief is, the bottom line is everyone has to take some type of responsibility, but sometimes we want to pass that responsibility on to, you know, our husband, or we want to pass that responsibility on to our pastor. We want to pass that responsibility on to our congressman. When we start to own up to our own, be accountable for every action that we take, for every word that comes out of our mouth, then everything else will fall in line. Because it all starts with each and every individual. So this is what I believe, and I'm very happy to be affiliated with the organization and working along with Sister YaheEna. Now, my question is, how many other organizations, Hebrew Israelite organizations, are you working with? It seems as though a lot of us here had no idea that there were so many. There are hundreds, maybe if not thousands, Hebrew Israelite organizations around the world. So, YaheEna?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, absolutely. There are quite a few. One organization in particular, United Nation of Israel, is one of the organizations that I have been very closely working with and affiliated with over the past year and a half. And there are quite a few other organizations in the United States that are working towards the unifying and the building up of the nation. I mean, there are countless camps. I mean, I could go down a long list of them. I would probably be naming them for the next 20 minutes that have actually put different things together to try to bring our people together. Mm-hmm. The only problem that we run into is that our people are hurting. And I mean, when I say that they're hurting because to come into the consciousness of who you are is one thing, and to realize that there is only a limited amount of things that you can do to help the condition that you are in is another thing, you know. But if we can just get to the point where we realize that there's no one solution, everyone comes to the table with a solution that works. You know, we have to remove ourselves and our egos from the situation and just begin to roll up our sleeves and do the work, because, you know, like I said, there are thousands of camps all over the United States. There are camps outside of the United States. When you talk about a population number, we're in the millions of Israelites all over the world. So,
yes.
You know, everybody's trying to use this one catalyst or this one connection to come together as a nation and begin to prepare ourselves. You know, because, and I can go on and on, but, you know, the one thing that fascinates me the most about this whole captivity is that we don't realize that our nation is full of illegal aliens, I want to say. And I don't want to say it from the standpoint that we don't belong to the nation. But when you think about the captivity, you always have to remember that when they brought us into captivity, the husband and the wife that was bound together by the word of God and by the law were separated. And the wife went to be used to give birth to other children in one part of the country, and the husband went in the other part of the country. So the captivity is not only beginning to bring brothers and sisters back together and families back together who didn't know they were families. There's so many things that we have to work through. So in answer to your question, there are thousands of organizations that are out here. I try to platform at least 2 or 3 different ones a month and invite them to the show so that they can come on the show and give them, you know, a short synopsis of what they're trying to do to be able to help our people. But we've got to get our people to start responding, because if they don't respond, we can't help.
This is absolutely true. Well, there's so much that we could talk about, but before we end the conversation, I would like for us to get a little bit more information, YaheEna, on the think tank and on the program, the Yehuda Project, and any other contact information that you would like to provide.
Okay, not a problem. I'd like to say to everyone that, you know, the Yehuda Project is every Yom Rishon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's through Blog Talk Radio Show. The phone number for the show itself is area code 718-664-9551. And also, the think tank, we're setting it up for Atlanta, Georgia. We're shooting towards a time around September. We're looking to connect with some movers and shakers in Atlanta to be able to bring this through, because not only do we want the Hebrew Israelite community, we're inviting all of our brothers and sisters from all walks of life to be able to show up so that we can introduce ourselves to them and at the same time, you know, provide solutions to the problems that we have globally, domestically, internationally, and globally, all to try to help everyone. So we're setting that up. We're getting that set up for around September or somewhere around that time. And then we'll be able to give you a little bit more information because we're still in the planning stages and everything. But the main thing that I want to be able to say to everyone is to please, if you could, to start supporting the Yehuda Project. We should have our website up for the Nation of Yehudah in about 3 days. We should be completed. We're waiting on our graphics department to actually finish our logo and our flag so that we can have all that information there. And we want you all to come to the website. So I hope that you and I can do this again, and we'll be able to possibly give out some more information to our website address and everything like that. But I would like to give our email address. We do have an email address. You can email us at the Yehuda Project, and Yehuda is spelled Yehudah project@gmail.com. You know, please, if you want to be able to be a part of our movement, we need all the help we can get. You know, I look forward, Mahaleyah, to one day coming to Israel. I've been kind of shying away from it because it's emotional for me. It's very difficult for me to even, go through those, to take myself emotionally through that because it's just significant to our lineage, and it's very emotional for me to have to deal with that. But one day I would like to be able to come and, maybe you and I can maybe travel to a place where they say King David's tomb or whatever it is.
Yes.
Well, I can't handle that. Sometimes it's difficult for me to deal with, but
yes,
I understand. I'm looking forward to meeting you all in Israel. I really am.
Well, it hasn't. Our particular struggle has not been easy, but freedom is a constant struggle. So it doesn't end with one generation, and as long as we are big enough as men and women to admit where we have made mistakes, then we can make progress. As long as we're big enough to say, okay, we could have done that better. Okay, well, next time we'll do it this way. Then everything will be all right. Now our seed is here. Our seed here in Israel is being proliferated, is going on. We have grandchildren and great-grandchildren here in Israel, and they are all a part of the military, and therefore they all have at this point an opportunity for citizenship. So what starts off and looks one way, God works in mysterious ways. So we can't forget that, and we have to extend ourselves to all of our brothers and sisters. We can't leave anybody out, and I think the biggest thing that YaheEna and I agree on is that without the element of love, nothing is possible. Yeah. Is that not right, YaheEna?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You know what? I needed that. And you know what? You just don't know how much you have touched me today because you really don't realize. The closer I get to the homeland and the closer I get to, you all being there is a blessing because, you need to know that we do have a presence in the homeland and you guys are there, holding up the banner and representing us, the people of Israelites. And we need that. We absolutely do, because it's very, very difficult. And if I can't stress it enough, it's very, very difficult to be in this condition and be of royal status, and we can't do anything. It's very difficult for us to be here, but we suffer the same punishment because we were part of the problem. So, from this point on, we're just trying to humble ourselves and come together as one unit and make it work. And we need the men and the women, Sister Mahaleyah.
Absolutely.
Because another thing that I've noticed across the globe is that it is a male-dominant movement, and because they don't have the female sensitivity and the female softness and the female mind there with them, it kind of comes across as a dogmatic movement, and you guys need us to be there, and we're going to be there. So I just wanted to make that notice as well.
You are absolutely correct. without the divine feminine, as a part of the equation, then it just simply won't work. Until, like, as I said before, no marriage is divine. With one wife, 2, 3, or even 7, without love. And as women, we are very familiar with unconditional love. We are we are intimately familiar with unconditional love, and we are the divine nurturers. And so without the female dynamic, it just won't be possible. And I would just like to say that we as women, we need to be more vocal. We need to understand the importance of our participation in this, and not just behind the scenes. Sister YaheEna is a powerhouse of a woman, and I've seen many sisters like her, come and go, and so, as I said, with the humility, with the humility and the wisdom and all of those things, and most importantly with the love, anything is possible. We can look at our experience here in Israel as a failure, or we can look at it as a success. At this point in time, I just would like to announce to everybody that the past is the past, and we can leave it in the past, and we can go forth and be strong and build anew. It is all about nation building. So my brothers and sisters, I would just like to say to you, we do need your help, and if there's anything that we can do to help you in any way, whether that be establishing things here in Israel to help you in your preparedness, whether that be in as far as reporting what's going on here in Israel, or in any capacity, we are here for you. I love you all so much. And Sister YaheEna, I just have a special love for you. It hasn't been long, but I have developed a special love for her, and the brother Adoniah, and the other brother from Sweden.
The brother Dawid. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I want to give him a shout out too. So, unless there's something else you want to say, was there anything else you wanted to say before we closed?
I just want to ask you a question. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of guys or the Hebrew brothers that call themselves prince.
Yes.
They have the title Nasi.
Uh-huh.
Are they a part of the royal house, or do they just appoint themselves to be prince, or how does that work?
These are basically titles that they have given themselves. That's a very interesting question, because I was just recently in a meeting, and in this meeting, there are Jews that are approaching our community because they want us to join their organizations. And so there's a lot of interest in the Hebrew Israelites and the blacks that are here, and the impact that they can have here in Israel and abroad. And one of the things that came out of that particular meeting was who was a Jew and what is a Jew in all of that. There was a brother there, and you probably remember him because he was on one of the shows that we all participated in, and his name was Hoshua. And he said that DNA is going to be a very critical determiner in the house of Yehuda, because now they do actually have the scientific capabilities of detecting who the Israelites are, who the Hebrews are, based on DNA.
Yes.
So this is something that he said the rabbis and him have discussed. So there's a lot here, to keep abreast on. And so no, those particular brothers, they have not traced their lineage back to the house of Yehuda. They just gave themselves those titles. And I would just like to say that, there's a part of me that wholeheartedly believes that I was once a part of that community, and now I'm not considered by the leadership to be an active member. But to be an Israelite, to be a Hebrew, a part of that is something that you can't take away from a person. You can't give them a title and you can't take it away from them. But then, on the other hand, there is that royal lineage that is there, and that cannot be denied. So all of these things, you know, we have to look at and put in their proper perspective. But no, as far as I know, there is no one here in the community that has claimed to be a direct descendant of the house of Dawid.
Okay. Because it is a royal lineage, and we do have the blood, and we do have the markers, and we do have the DNA necessary to prove who we are, you know, and we are scattered all over the world, and the Most High is beginning to bring us together as a family, and it's very important, you know, for those who have given themselves that title, that's fine, but you have to understand that, you know, our government was a monarchy, and, you know, it will and it always has been. You know, you have to be very, very, very careful with carrying titles like that because they have to mean something. As far as the Zionist Jews and recruiting our people, we'll have to talk about them. That's a whole nother show, my friend.
There's so much to talk about. And this is why I said to you that I needed to introduce you to all of the quote saints unquote, because we need to get to know you and know that there are other organizations out there that support us, that love us, and that will be helping or coming in some way, in some capacity. So it's a very good feeling to know and to make that contact. You know, it's like finding a long-lost family member.
Well, guess what? We love you all, and we are here 100%. And when I come to Israel, I'm telling you, I'm going to need all of the love and the hugs and the support possible to even step my foot on the ground. And,
you will have it.
To be able to go to the places where, you know, my grandfather's grave is, and it's just very emotional, and it's very emotional for me. So I'm going to need all the support I can get when I get up enough courage to even come there, because, you know, I spent some time in England, and I had an opportunity to see the British castle, and everybody used to ask me, well, are you going in? Are you going to go in and view? And I never went because I felt like, you know, it was too much to deal with, because, you know, she professes, Queen Elizabeth professes to be from the royal house of King David as well. And, you know, she supposedly has his throne there. So it's been a very emotional situation for me. But, you know, we're going to get there, and with each one reaching one and loving and hugging on one, we're going to make it. I believe we're going to be okay.
Oh, we will definitely be all right. It's already all right. But God, or Yah, or however you choose to refer to him, call him or her or them, moves in his own, in their own, in her own way and time. So we have to know and understand that, and know that some things won't happen overnight. You know, we were here for 40 years, you know, and but it's a new day now. And I feel that there has been a breath of fresh air, you know, now that we are making these affiliations, you know, with all of these other organizations. I know that that was according to his time, the appointed time, the anointed time. So yes, we have a lot more to talk about, but I just personally want to say to any of you out there that I'm personally going to be trying to organize or get something started over here, so that when people do want to come home, even if it's just for a visit, we will have the facilities, we will have ways to accommodate you and to make you feel welcome, and know that it's like coming home.
Yes.
Okay.
We need it. I mean, we do need it.
Yes. So with that, I'm going to go ahead on an end, and I just want everyone to know that our email address is AfricanAmericans living in Israel@gmail.com, and Sister YaheEna has given you her contact information. We want you to know that we love you, and we would love to see you here in the Holy Land one day. And don't be surprised if I pop up wherever it is that you are, because we are worldwide. So with that, I just want to say, again, thank you for all of your support. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share. Love you so much, and peace out.